Hello, my friend. I'm glad you're here again. Take a slow breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it go. Let your shoulders soften, let your thoughts settle wherever they need to. This is your space, a small pause between all the noise, a quiet return. Today's question is this: why do we keep searching for home, even after we've already found one? It's a strange kind of restlessness, isn't it? You might have a place that is safe, walls that hold your memories, a bed that knows the shape of your body. You might have people who care for you, who know your favorite coffee, your old stories, your quiet moods. And still, somewhere in you, there's that tug, that soft ache that whispers, there must be something more. You stand in the middle of everything you once wished for and wonder why it still doesn't feel complete. Maybe it's because home was never only about a physical place. It's an inner landscape built from 1,000 invisible pieces: belonging, safety, acceptance, peace. And while the walls around us can protect, they cannot always reach the corners of our hearts. Sometimes the roof is solid, but the soul beneath it still drifts, looking for somewhere softer to rest. Think of the moments when you felt unexpectedly at home, not necessarily where you lived, but perhaps walking through a familiar forest path, or sitting beside someone who listens without judgment. Maybe it was a quiet morning when sunlight fell just right on the kitchen table, and for a brief second, everything aligned: the sound, the light, your breathing, and you felt, this is it, I'm home. But then the moment passes, and the search begins again. Home, it seems, is not something we find once and keep forever. It's something we meet and lose, and meet again, changing as we change. The places and people that once felt like home might no longer fit the person you've become. Growth has its own cost. The comfort you once had can start to feel too small. The walls that sheltered you start to press in. The conversations that used to fill you now echo with distance. So you move, not always in geography but in spirit. You go looking for a new alignment between your inner life and the world outside. And yet, even when you find it, that restless searching doesn't fully disappear, because home, in its truest form, is not a destination, but a movement, a continuous return to what feels most real in you. You carry it, lose it, rebuild it. It's not a fixed point on the map, but a rhythm, a way of being that whispers, I belong to this moment, just as I am. Still, we often mistake home for something external, a city, a person, a certain version of our lives. We think, once I get there, I'll finally feel settled. But every time we arrive, we find that the longing still lingers. That's because what we call searching for home is often the soul's way of reminding us that belonging must begin within. No house, no partner, no job can complete what feels incomplete inside. They can mirror it, support it, awaken it, but they can't replace it. There's a quiet grief in realizing that, a sense of betrayal almost, as if the things you built your life upon should have been enough. But there's also a quiet freedom, because once you see that home is not found but grown, you start to soften your grip. You stop trying to arrive and instead begin to listen. You start asking smaller questions. What makes me feel alive today? Where does my spirit feel safe? What rhythm feels like truth right now? These questions are like the keys on your own doorstep. You might also notice how memory plays a role in this search. Often, the idea of home is tied to a past that cannot be re-entered. A childhood street, the smell of someone's cooking, the sound of laughter that no longer fills your evenings. When life changes, we don't just lose places, we lose versions of ourselves. Sometimes what we're searching for isn't a location, but a lost feeling. The safety of being cared for, the innocence of not yet knowing how fragile everything is. It's why, even in the most beautiful new chapter, you might still feel that quiet nostalgia for something that no longer exists. It's not ingratitude, it's remembrance. Your heart is honoring every place that once held you. Every person who once felt like home. Every version of yourself that needed somewhere to belong. But here's the paradox. The moment you stop resisting that longing, when you stop treating it like a problem to fix, it begins to feel less heavy. You realize that searching for home isn't a sign that you're lost. It's simply the movement of a living soul, one that refuses to stay static. The ache you feel is proof that you're still open to life, still expanding, still yearning toward truth. And maybe home is meant to be something we never fully capture. Maybe it's meant to stay partly out of reach, so we keep moving closer to the person we're becoming. Each time we think we've found it, the horizon shifts slightly, inviting us onward. It's not punishment. It's the nature of being alive, to always carry both arrival and departure in the same breath. There's a moment, maybe you felt it, when you come back from a long journey, drop your bags by the door, and look around the familiar room. Everything is as you left it, yet you stand there feeling like both the same person and a stranger. The walls haven't changed, but you have. You realize that home isn't waiting for you to return. It's waiting for you to meet it again, from who you are now. So perhaps the real search is not for a permanent home, but for the courage to keep coming home again and again to different versions of yourself, to allow your sense of belonging to evolve with you, to make peace with the fact that no single place or person can hold all of you, and that's okay. And when you do find those rare moments of stillness, when the air feels right and your heart feels grounded, stay there for a bit. Let the world move around you. Let yourself feel what it's like to belong to now. Because that's where home always hides, in the now, not the next. Home, in the end, might not be about where you are, but how honestly you can be yourself wherever you stand. The search for home is, in a way, the search for the courage to live without pretending, to sit in your own company and feel at ease, to be both rooted and open, to know that even if everything around you changes, you still carry the center that holds. And maybe, when we stop expecting home to stay still, we begin to see it everywhere, in the small kindnesses of strangers, in the taste of a familiar meal, in the rhythm of your breath returning to calm after a storm. Maybe home is less a place to find and more a language you learn to speak again after forgetting for too long. So, my friend, if you find yourself still searching for home, even when you're already there, don't scold your restlessness. Let it guide you gently. It's not telling you to leave. It's asking you to listen more deeply, to notice what feels missing, not as failure, but as a quiet invitation to grow. You are not homeless. You are in motion. You are expanding beyond the boundaries of what you used to call safe. Every longing, every ache, every quiet wish for somewhere to belong, they are all steps on the same path, leading you inward. And perhaps that's the secret. The home you've been searching for was never lost. It's been following you all along, waiting for you to turn around and recognize it, in your own breath, in your own presence, in the way your heart still dares to keep loving this world, even when it changes shape. Thank you for being here, for giving yourself this moment to reflect. Stay gentle, stay curious, and stay kind. And if this question spoke to you, continue your journey with us on Yarven's Questions. More stories, more reflections, and more quiet truths are waiting for you. Take care, my friend. Until next time.